In this video, we're going to explain um, the difference of, well, we'll start with the imperfect in Spanish, pretérito imperfecto. So the use of era, eras, éramos, erais in European Spanish, and eran. So it says, esta es una de las dudas más comunes en español. This is one of the most common doubts, porque la traducción al inglés de ambos suele ser la misma, because the translation from English is basically the same, right? So no difference in English. But in Spanish, we have that difference. It shows a difference. Um, pero en español cambia totalmente el sentido de lo que estás describiendo. But in Spanish, it changes absolutely the sense of what you're describing. La regla de oro para elegir entre era y fue se reduce a esto. The golden rule to choose between era and fue is this, or in summary is this. ¿Estás describiendo el escenario, una cualidad? Are you describing a scenery, a scene, or quality? ¿O estás contando un evento cerrado? Or are you talking about an event that is finished, closed? Like you're focused on the end of the event. That's the difference. So, pretérito imperfecto del indicativo ser. Here we have the different forms. Era. Tú eras. Vos eras. The same. Notice that how the imperfect takes letter S, right? Different from perfect. This one has letter S. Él era, ella era, usted era. So, and notice that first and third person, they're the same, including usted, second person formal, the same. Era, era. So, to some extent, this one is easier than the other one. Nosotros éramos, nosotras éramos for feminine. Vosotros erais, vosotras erais in Spain. Ellos eran, ellas eran, ustedes eran. Well, nothing else to say here. And simply, era is like let's say the pattern, right? And then you add all the differences. The only difference is that éramos has the accent, right, on the E, éramos, because it has three syllables, and the stress still remains on the first syllable, era, éramos. But this one has three syllables, and in order to maintain the rule, we need to put a mark on the E. Éramos. Otherwise, the sound would be éramos. That would change the sound. And so this one is to maintain the sound era. Like it sounds like era, right? In English, era, éramos. So here we have some examples, but I want to use the one that has English as well. So here we have, for example, yo era muy tímido en la escuela. Hold on. Do we have the uses? Something else about this? I don't think so. Maybe not. Yeah, I like this one, this note. Let's read this note first. It says, notice that while Spanish uses the specific imperfect form, era, eras, éramos, eran to show ongoing states. Yeah, like a state, right? A state, an ongoing state, or descriptions in the past. English often uses just was in the word on or the structure used to be. So in English, right, you don't care. So you might say used to be or simply I was. And in English, it doesn't matter the difference. But in Spanish, it matters a lot to convey the exact same continuous feeling. Datos clave para el voceo, a diferencia del presente vos sos, el imperfecto no se acentúa la última, en el imperfecto no se acentúa la última sílaba. Se dice vos eras. So in this case, they're the same, right? Tú eras, vos eras, no difference in stress, it's the same, vos eras. It says grave, right? Meaning that it's a palabra grave, having the stress on the first syllable. Sonando exactamente igual que tú eras. All right, let's go back. So yo era muy tímido en la escuela. I was very shy at school, or I used to be very shy at school. So it was one focus on something that was constant, right? Like all the time, I was like that, right? I didn't change. It was um like my personality, right? Uh, yeah, we might say yo era muy tímido en la escuela. Yo fui muy tímido en la escuela. But that would sound as if you were comparing with the present. So now I'm not anymore, right? Or I was not shy when I was a teenager, for example. But in this case, we're just focused on the past, right? When I was at school, uh, I was timid, shy. Era muy tímido en la escuela. Let's see if we have an explanation here that we can highlight. Yeah, una cualidad, right? So that was a quality. I had that quality. Let's go back. So in English, right, that could be I used to be very shy at school or I was very shy at school. So notice that you could use any of them, right? But you're talking about a quality, personality. So Ada would be better in this case. Uh, Consider that we're not saying anything else, right? Not even when I was a child. But you could say that. Yo era muy tímido en la escuela cuando era un niño, when I was a child. You could say it, definitely. Let's see here. Vos eras el más rápido del grupo. You were the fastest in the group. You used to be the fastest in the group. Vos eras el más rápido del grupo. So again, that was the quality, right? Vos eras. So anytime that we had a competition or we had exercises to do, this person was the fastest. So in each event, right? So it was like repetition. Like that was his, I don't know, his quality. This person was recognized as very fast all the time. So fuiste, we might say that, but no, that's not common. I'm describing this guy, and so eras is better. Vos fuiste el más rápido del grupo. Yeah, we might say that, but that sounds more like one single event. But if I'm describing repetition like that all the time, maybe for several years, eras is the best option. Let's see here. Next one, el viejo reloj or el reloj viejo. I would prefer to say el reloj viejo. El reloj viejo era de mi abuelo. The old clock was my grandfather's. So in this case, we're describing possession. It belonged to my grandfather. So for possession, uh, we can use imperfect. How about fue? El reloj viejo fue de mi abuelo. That sounds like it was transferred to another person. If I were thinking about that, like it was transferred um, to or handed over to another person, yeah, I might say fue de mi abuelo. Y después fue de mi papá. Like I'm focused on the fact that first it was my grandfather's and then my father's. Yeah, I might say fue, but era, if I'm focused on just one person, el reloj viejo era de mi abuelo. That would be the best one to talk about possession. Next one. Nosotros éramos vecinos en la infancia. Um, we were neighbors during childhood, or we were neighbors when we were. Oh yeah, because we want to include infancia, right? Childhood. Yeah, that's fine. En nuestra niñez. Nosotros éramos vecinos en la niñez. Nosotros fuimos vecinos. We might say that. Yeah, to talk about relationship, how we were related. I could use both, really. We were, nosotros fuimos vecinos en la infancia. Nosotros éramos vecinos en la infancia. But fuimos is like close, right? I'm just focused on the fact that we were neighbors. But éramos sounds like us if I were thinking about ongoing, like every year, right? For years, we were neighbors. Um, hold on. I think in this case we can use both. Nosotros éramos vecinos en la infancia to show a type of relationship. Nosotros fuimos vecinos en la infancia. Yeah, it's almost the same idea. One example with the European vosotros, right? Ustedes eran mis amigos. Vosotros erais mis amigos antes. You all used to be great friends before. Ah, sorry. Vosotros erais muy amigos antes. You used to be great friends before. So in this case, I'm talking about the past versus the present. You were great friends before. You used to be great friends before. Ustedes eran muy amigos antes. Ustedes fueron muy amigos antes. Yeah, I can say that, really. I could use fueron as well for this one. Ustedes eran muy amigos antes. O ustedes fueron muy amigos antes. So it's kind of the same like the previous one to talk about relationship, um, like friendship. So in this case, I think that we could use both. Ustedes eran muy amigos antes. Ustedes fueron muy amigos antes. We could use it. So for possession, as I said, if we're talking about possession, simple possession, we use era. To talk about description, especially description, uh, something that was repeated, let's say a constant um, quality, we can use era. So I think that I'm going to prepare another video to talk about more about the differences with perfecto, right? Because there are some differences. In this case, these are simple sentences talking about description, possession. But as I said, to talk about relationship, that we were friends, we were neighbors. In that case, you might use uh, the other one, the perfect. Fuimos, fueron, etc. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and please give me a like, share the video if you want to, and see you in another video or in one of our lessons.